Alrighty. In light of releases, recent shoe releases. God, there was no intro. That's how upset I am. Um, in light of recent releases for a certain shoe that everyone had wanted, I'm guilty of wanting them myself for personal pair. Um, was was backdoored or supposedly backdoored, but majority of people know that it was backdoored or botted. It basically is the same thing at this point because if people are going to pay over retail to backdoor it and then sell it for even more, it doesn't really make sense to sell it for like the actual MSRP to actual people. And just going through this, this article, 25,000. That's just one bot software. This is just one out of, I'd say the ballpark is around at least 50 prominent bot software websites. There are Discord cook groups. I, I'm using quotation marks for cook because they're not really doing anything special besides just causing inconvenience in a hobby that shouldn't have it. But 25,000 times, 32,000 times, 87 successes. Number one, 32,000, only 87 out of 32,000 just shows how many bots were actually entering into this thing. And it's like, this is insane because I remember the specific tweet that one Travis Scott fan made. Hopefully he doesn't feel too bad about what he did for all of his future releases. It was for the first Travis Scott Jordan 1 High. Yeah, it's for these. So originally when these dropped, they dropped as a normal like queue drop. Like you wait in line on the website and then you have a chance to buy them, which was very successful. It actually stopped a lot of the bots, right? Now tell me how a fan decided to say this isn't fair for the real fans of Travis Scott. Now, what's the point of saying this isn't fair if you're just, in my opinion, you're just not dedicated enough to just sit on the queue for a chance to get them? I would argue that it's easier to sit on the queue instead of entering a raffle one time, you know? Doesn't make sense. You know, a raffle, oh, everybody has an equal shot. In theory, if their bot detection system, which I think for Travis Scott's website is non-existent, clearly by this, because oh wow, they're weeding out bots. No, no. 200 pairs, 50,000 entries, $4,000 resale. Like at this point, it just doesn't even make sense because you're telling me that this is for the highs, right? We haven't gotten the data for the low tops that had just come out. But people, from what I saw from personal experience, like it's I saw maybe like one thing, one actual retail like W from an actual human being, and that's kind of just disheartening because this isn't the first time. I just despise the Travis Scott website. It is the worst run website I would argue ever for shoes. Because if you're saying this is for the real fans, you're just blatantly lying to your fans because doing raffles is not beneficial for fans. Doing queue drops is beneficial for the people that are dedicated enough to go for it. Yeah, it still sucks when you don't get the shoe, but I would argue that queue drops, speaking from my own experience from going through queue drops and raffles, I've never won a raffle in my 6 years of collecting shoes. I've gotten plenty of retail W's through doing Q drops because you just eventually you just get a rhythm. Like you keep trying, you get a rhythm for it. And eventually you're just increasing your own chance. It sounds really corny, but like eventually it gets to the point where it's like a skill issue. If you just can't win Q drops for the most part, that really that wow, that really sounds insensitive. But it gets to the point where you're just like, you know, At some point you're gonna win for a Q drop. Raffles, it's not like that because it will never be fair. It has never been fair for a raffle. Not for Travis Scott, not for Ama Manir, not for Union LA, not for Trophy Room. We're getting into Trophy Room. I have not forgotten about this piece of work. This piece of work of a shoe and its creator, Marcus Jordan, the Nepo baby himself, you know? And it's going back to the Travis Scott, don't like raffles. Raffles for some reason are just, oh, people think raffles are easier to stop bots. Not how that works. Not how that works at all. If anything, bots just get more time to enter, you know? And all you have to do is literally, I'm a Veneer figured this out. Cap, H captcha. Literally, H captcha. All Alma Manir did is enter H captcha into their Q drops. And they cracked the code because a lot of the individuals that wanted the shoe got the shoe for retail. And then people who and what Amaminya did is they ended up going back and searching through orders that they suspected were bots and they would cancel them. For the most part, that was a success too, because then they would re-put those pairs onto Amaminya for people to actually buy. Amaminya cares about their releases for the most part. Travis Scott doesn't. The brand itself, I'm not saying the individual, but the brand itself, Cactus Jack X Jordan, does not care about the brand. Union LA, this is going to be a shot at Union, but like Union LA does not care about their brand for the most part anymore because they're just not popular. But when they originally dropped this shoe, both this pair and this pair, this was a Q drop and people were happy about it. Now, people were happy about it, right? Makes sense to do another one for, where are they? The Jordan 4s, right? They did it for these. They did the Q drop. Did they do the Q drop? You know what? I have to double check because I believe they did the Q drop. I might be wrong. Yeah. Okay. So they did the Q drop for the black and the white pair, the first pair of Jordan 4s, that the first two pairs of Jordan 4s that came out. So the black and then this white pair. Also a success. Now, when these came out, you're not going to believe what they did. They decided to do a raffle for both. Not a single complaint about the Q drops. Not a single complaint. Union raffle actually works? Lying. It's just blatant lies. I personally I wish I still had these. I personally had both of these pairs, right? This was a Union LA exclusive for their website. Raffle only. I didn't get my pair through a raffle. I paid resale for mine. I didn't get these from Union LA either. Nike sneakers had an exclusive access drop that I was very lucky to get, which is another thing, but that's for another video. I don't like exclusive access either. It's one of the worst systems ever. Doesn't make sense. The algorithm doesn't make sense. Both of these shoes being raffles didn't make sense when the first two different releases were regular Q drops. You feel me? The imaginary person watching this right now, or like, I don't know, talking like a crazy person, but you get what I mean, right? Close out of this. Now let's talk about this release. Oh my god. I didn't want this pair, but it was one of those releases where you're just like, oh my god, this is hilarious. I can't stop looking. Train crash. Train crash you can't look away from. You cannot look away from this type of release, right? Oh, Marcus Jordan, son of Michael Jordan, the Nepo baby, right? Like it doesn't high profile, yeah, high profile collaborations stuff, he gets whatever. But this right here. Yep, this right here. Originally, this was supposed to drop via a raffle and Trophy Room's website. and on Nike sneakers, but Nike sneakers is a lost cause. I'm not even gonna bother with them right now. Now, backdoors, backdooring. If I thought these were backdooring, like if I thought backdooring was bad for any other shoe, this was awful. This was awful because I want to see if this article has it. Because oh my god, oh, is that the end of the art? That really was the end of the article. Let me see if I can look up the Marcus Jordan trophy room backdoor. Ha, yes, perfect. So this right here, let me see these images right here. There was I don't know if the original image is still up, but there was an original image of people meeting up in a hotel to buy bulk orders of these shoes from Marcus himself. From himself. 12,000 pairs of just backdooring these shoes. And another thing is, this was supposed to be the trophy room exclusive with the blue laces, these ugly blue laces, right? And literally, this right here. This is exactly what I was talking about. They backdoored all of these with the blue laces. So none of the raffle winners, if there was any, won on Trophy Room. And the people who didn't receive blue laces because he sold all of them to the people that backdoored these. So that was another thing. How are you going to offer an exclusive pair with blue laces? This fraudster right here. Any other person, this would be a bigger problem. His brand still lives with this though. Thankfully, he doesn't deserve to get forgiven for this type of thing, regardless of whether he's Michael Jordan's son. If anything, that makes it worse. Because what are you doing? You have. We're not watching that. What do you have to gain? You have money. You have everything that you can need to go. The only thing you don't have is basketball skills, right? But who am I want to talk? I'm a 5'10. I'm 5'10. I'm a 5'10 dude that didn't make it to college ball. Doesn't matter. Well, maybe it does. But like that's not the point. You couldn't live up to your father. I sound like I'm talking to him. You couldn't live up to your father's heights, which yeah, who could? Um, but so you go in like backdoor shoes because allegedly it's because of gambling debt or gambling and drug use, which I'm not gonna make fun of no drug use because that's a serious thing. Like drug addiction is no joke. Gambling is a lot more like lighthearted because your family got money. If you somehow gamble away all your money, something's wrong. I mean, I guess like father, like son, basically. Because both Jordans love to gamble, which is hilarious. But this release, terribly bad. Till this day, nobody knows. Nobody knows where the blue lace pairs had gone besides like stock or besides Marcus Jordan and the pairs that ended up on StockX. Because there was pairs that ended up on StockX with no blue laces, and there were pairs that didn't end up on ended up on StockX without the blue laces, but were somehow trophy room exclusives. Doesn't make sense at all. So both both of these brands collaborations, god awful releases. Every single one of them was terrible. You could cut some slack for this one, but every other one besides that, god awful. Some of the worst thing I feel like the majority of people had lost time and like sanity trying to do these damn raffles. Not a fan. Sure, not a lot of people are a fan. If you are a fan of raffle, you're probably biased because you probably won one. If you did, I envy you and I'm jealous. Right? Now the next one. This is kind of just like I mean, this is honestly quite funny considering that this is really just like this is another level of nepo baby because ex-VP of Nike backdooring shoes to her own son to fuel his resale business. You know, crazy. Number one, I get it. You're a hustler, right? You're a hustler, Joe. Yeah, you had the method. You had the method. Now, probably should have hit it better. Probably should have hit it better. You might have to start flipping burgers now. Who? Yeah, no, she did lose her job at Nike. You probably flipping burgers right now. Am I being a hater? 100%. I am. But 200 a month on sneakers, discounted shoes. With her for and some with just her employee discount. So she, let's say he got a pair of limited Jordan ones for 160. Used her employee discount. Good, done. You can sell them for even more profit now. That's basically what the whole system was. And it's not fair because this is just straight up, oh yeah, I'm just going to take them basically almost as close to the factory as possible from like before consumers. Like this was rage bait before rage bait was, a widely used term because all of these came straight directly from Nike. It's like, oh cool, this is great. All of these were backdoored. It wasn't even, you know, it is Nike's fault because they should have had better security measures for this type of thing. How did they not think of this? How did they not think of this? Did they not find it suspicious that the VP of Nike is ordering hundreds of off-white Jordan 5s? No? Okay then. Fine. Does it matter? Or putting aside off-white Jordan 5s. Sure, man. Whatever. Let it rock. But this is gonna be a turn into a rant. I mean, I gotta stop doing this before it turns into an actual rant. But from my personal experience, I was banned off of Nike sneakers, my original account, because they said you entered a raffle too many times and they took away one of my exclusive access. I'm gonna pull up the shoe because in hindsight, it really didn't matter because that was honestly funny to think about. I was very pressed about not getting this shoe for retail because I got exclusive access for it. I went to buy it and I couldn't sign in. And I had to call Nike and say, oh, yeah, your account was flagged for suspicious bot like activity. You don't have to take my word for it, but I don't bot. The most I'll do is I'll have two separate accounts, right? One with my personal email and one with a quote business email. And I'll use those two accounts and I'll enter for a 10 and a half and an 11 because those are the two sizes I fit, right? If I get one, awesome. If I get two, cool. Majority of the times what I did was if I got one pair, I returned the other. I wasn't a reseller. As soon as I got my first job, stopped reselling. Because personal experience, I could make another video on how it was to resell in high school because it was just that was stressful to resell in high school because what? You're stressing over a release like this. Well, I like these personally, but like $160 and then another this shoe was a pain. I had another of retail W for this shoe and the guy at Nike on 5th Avenue in yeah, Nike on 5th in New York City. He said, "We can't give you this shoe because your ID does not match your nickname." I'm not going to go into my actual nicknames and names, but like imagine like your name is Nicholas, but you go by Nick. And the guy says, your account says Nick, we can't sell it to you because your name says Nicholas. You have the physical device with you, but you can't buy it because your name doesn't match, even though it's just a shortened version of your name, right? The backdooring doesn't just stop at websites. I 100% believe a lot of the Nike, I'm putting on my tinfoil hat. I 100% believe a lot of the Nike stores are backdooring because at this point, who wouldn't? It sounds enticing to make extra money on the side. People at Foot Locker backdoor, people at Foot Action when it was a thing backdoor, people at Champs backdoor, people at JD Sports backdoor, people at let me see, people at boutiques backdoor for their friends. At some point, every store backdoors something, and it is what it is at this point. And if they get caught, that's the worst thing that can happen. But the best thing is you make extra money. So do I blame them? Times are tough. Not really for backdooring. It's an evil system, but I kind of see why you do it. For money. Money is the root of all evil. Blah blah blah. Philosophy. Something something. But felt like a rant video. Wow. Um. Yeah. Other than that, like I guess the main takeaway is, you know, Nepo baby. Nepo baby two Nepo babies. Two Nepo babies backdoor shoes away from people that actually wanted to wear them, you know? Um, and bots. Nobody likes bots. Everyone just wants a fair shot to buy cool shoes, you know? Not I wouldn't say these are nice. That's probably a hot take. But yeah. That's about it for this video. Have a good one.